I'm Lee Snyder of Doc's Total Package. I want to show you how to repair leather furniture. And this is for a doctor, from a doctor. But aside from that, I just want to show you something special because as you do this type of repair, you're going to be able, this is going to be one of many tapes, so if you need to research this, just look for leather repair or furniture repair by Doc. That'll be how you find it. But we're going to use these products. We're going to use the Big Blast Zip Kicker. We're going to use the flexible power gel, and we're going to use the palette knife. Now, let me proceed accordingly. As you noticed before, you see the damage is torn away here, and there's inside the bead there. The idea really here is just to make a simple repair and to make it bonded like that, but we need to do it in a certain way so it doesn't get sloppy or messy. The accelerator, this is the instant hardener. Now what we're going to do is put our bead along the line here. As you see, it comes right down like that, like so. And then we're going to tuck it in like this using the palette knife, because if you use your fingers, what happens is you end up with fingerprints. And then you hit it with the accelerator, and it will harden in a way that you have the repair. If you're not careful, sometimes what will happen is you'll get a little CA, and you see that's what happened there. But this has been bonded, and of course, working this angle, and I have to tell you the truth, whenever I'm doing this, I don't usually do this in front of a camera, so it's kind of awkward. I want to make sure you're able to see it, but I put a little bit in there. Use the palette knife, as you can see, to push it in. Sometimes you open up just a little bit, put the spray in like that, and then work quick. Because that accelerator is going to accelerate that CA in a way that it's going to bond. And of course, when you press on it, you don't over-press on it because you don't want to dent it. And now, let me show you the other part of the repair that we're going to do. As we flip it around, I was going to try not to do that before. You see the abrasion here. Don't get too close. I want you to see here, if you look, you'll notice that it's not just the damage there, but also into the skin. One of the first things that we do, I'm glad you can't see everything I'm doing. I'm dropping things, knocking things over. But right here, what I usually do is I usually take my butane heat gun and just pre-warm it. You see, notice how that's sealing the leather. Anything that's high and low, it's making it shrink. Now, you have to be real careful with leather, with heat, because of the fact that leather can shrink. In this case, I turn my heat down a little bit to be real careful. You see how that bonds. And then by pressing it with a grain pad, as you can see with this grain pad, it's very similar to this. You see how it's made. Now, if you run, you can feel that, and a lot of it is done. A lot of it is just a slight cavity right around here, the edges here. I'm more tempted to kind of put a little bit in there. Now, at this point, we like using a product called the Fat Color Cat. It's a cold repair leather product. Primarily what we're going to be interested in is filling. That's primarily the purpose here. And because the Fat Color Cat comes in many colors, that's one color, as an example. What we've done is I've mixed a couple of the colors. They're all different. You see the darker colors. And almost like an artist brush, you can sit there and mix it a little bit like this, like so. In fact, I might even have to put like a little red in there to get that perfect blend now that I look at it. But this might be enough to kind of get the point across. But you see how it fills that cavity just so smooth. We have that little high point right there. But as we're in the hair dryer, just to dry it quickly. And then it's just a matter of just sanding that down if you need to. Sometimes it's a matter of just putting another application, which is what we're going to do here. You see how that's starting to smooth in. Now, sometimes what you can do is sometimes you can use just a little bit of CA down there to kind of sand it where it's smooth and kind of seal it in. But we're not doing that at this venture. Now what we need to do is we're going to use a product called the Answer. Now what the Answer is, it's a product, you see there, he's thinking there, he has the Answer. And the Answer is a thick emulsion that is excellent not only for sealing leather but also for graining leather. In this particular case, if you take a closer look at this, you'll see what I'm saying. You see how thick that is? It's almost like a gel. It's just a wonderful product. Especially if you have cases like over here, let your eyes follow my hand. See here, right over there, this is just going to be an easy one because this one is just a matter of just spreading a thin coat of the Answer on. And then what we'll do is we'll come back to it. And that'll seal that in a way that it'll accept any kind of color on it if we choose to color it, which we probably will. But this one, back to over here. You can see it okay? Okay, that's what I need to know. And as I said before, this is, I'm trying to do this in haste because a lot of times I would take a little longer than this. This presents itself a little problem here. There's like a little ridge here. I don't know if it shows here on the camera, but normally I think probably what I would have done is probably just used a little CA to make it totally smooth. But the main part is that the cavity is filled. And a lot of times you can take a little color and spray it over, but this is a two-color system. There's our grain pad. We take our grain pad, we make sure there's a little moisture on it. We usually use a product called CBC, which I just dipped my hand into it right here. And then you just press on it like this, hold it in place, run the hairdryer to kind of speed it up. And I'm doing this in haste, folks. If you notice, at that point, if you were to look real careful, you would see that you can see, let me see if I can move it around. I don't know if you can see the grain there, but there is definitely a grain there. And the nice thing about it is you can manipulate it in a way that will reflect that. Okay. Okay. Now, what we do at that point, we can use the product called the Iron Man, which is a flexible, which is basically your color coat, water-based. Now we're going to use a secondary color over here, and using what's called a mouth atomizer. Now don't get too close because I don't want to get paint over the camera. Actually, I put too much on there. I really wanted to kind of widen the spray, but with a water base, then that happens. There are ways of being forgiving. Now it's a little flat. Look, most leather that you want is flat, but this is real glossy. That's when we use like the velour shield, which is a product that you can use for velour as well as plastic. It's a good clear coat that makes it shiny and makes it smooth in a way that it'll continue right on. You can see right there with the reflection. You see, without the, if I had done the little CA repair on there, made it level, this would have been a perfect repair. But there's enough there for you to get the idea. So So remember, this is segment 1. We might be able to show you some more in the future, but just always do your search for furniture repair by Doc. Thank you.